In a season full of replacements for San Francisco, one of the most impressive players has been the relatively unknown Liberian defensive end in Sam Okuayinou. The 27-year-old has really been able to unlock his full potential under Chris Kasarik and Robert Saleh this season. In this most recent Giants game, for instance, he routinely was able to put pressure on Jackson Dart and even recorded his sack. And it wasn't like he was just getting lucky out there, but he showed off dominant pass rush moves, elite hand usage, and pretty great strength. On top of that, in the running game, he set a strong edge and stopped the back several times for pretty minimal gain. So in this video, we're going to go over his most recent Giants outing to really go over why this could spell big things for San Francisco's defensive end headed forward. Initially, to start out, we will be looking at his pass rush because this is where San Francisco definitely needs the most help, and this is probably where he was most dominant against the Giants. With the biggest reason for his success being the development he's been able to go under as a true pass rush specialist. Frankly, entering the league, he was pretty raw in this aspect of his game, but since joining the San Francisco 49ers and Chris Kasarik's defensive line, he's improved vastly. One thing I've noticed out of Okuayinou so far with San Francisco this year, compared to even last year, is just the development of a true pass rush plan. He's not just going out there throwing random moves at these offensive linemen, rather, he has a plan in his brain how he's going to set them up using a variety of moves. To start to illustrate this point, here on Okuayinou's sack, he sets up this offensive lineman with a stutter move, and once he commits to the inside, he explodes through with the push-off move while also turning his corner. You can literally see how he's attacking his outside shoulder, which gets his tackle to fall down, and at that point, Okuayinou explodes through this rep and gets the sack on Jackson Dart. To further illustrate how Okuayinou has developed a true pass rush plan this year, here on this play, once again he's using his feet to get this offensive lineman to commit to the outside, and then once he does, he's coming back hard across his face on the rip move. And then because it's not the most effective rip move, he then transitions into a bowl and starts to walk this tackle into the backfield, really showcasing his strength. Another aspect to Okuayinou's pass rush that may not have been obvious immediately in this Giants game was how solid his speed to power was. Here on this play, for instance, he's challenging this tackle's outside shoulder, then seamlessly transitions into a powerful bull rush, maintains a lower pad level than this tackle, and then is just driving him right into Dart's lap. And if this guard didn't pick him up here, who knows? This could have been a sack. This pressure by Okuayinou also made Dart have to check it down here, bringing up 4th down. Another aspect of Okuayinou's game that's really stood out this year is the development of his hand usage. Here on this play, for instance, he's actually able to catch 78's hand once he's punching him, but doesn't stop there as he also transitions into a bull rush, walking him into Jackson Dart's lap, and then reading Dart break out of this pocket. He uses a hand swipe and pull technique on his left side to create more separation with this tackle and ultimately helps force the incompletion on this play. To further highlight Okuayinou's hand usage, here on this play, he's going to be using a hand flash to get this offensive tackle to commit, and you can see how it's pretty effective as this tackle starts to punch, which allows Okuayinou to get inside his pads and transition from a swipe move into a rip move, and I think draw the hold right here. I mean, he gets yanked down, but nevertheless, Dart throws this ball a little bit more inaccurately because of this pressure, and it's an incompletion on this play. He also does a nice job of adapting his pass rush to the offensive play call. Here with this guard pulling across, for instance, rather than rushing on the outside like he would with the tackle, he first gets this guard to commit inside by slanting hard that direction, and because he's more athletic, he then is able to attack his outside shoulder, uses a push off, and then elevates at the end of this to make this pass even harder for Dart, which also helps force another incompletion here. In a similar way on this goal line checkdown, even though Okuayinou isn't able to get to the quarterback here, he does a nice job of elevating, which potentially will lead to some of these being batted down in the future. In addition to his pass rush, Okuayinou has also been an excellent run defender for San Francisco, with one of the most notable aspects to his game being his ability to set the edge because he is such a strong edge defender, and then work his way across the tackle's face to make the tackle on the play. To start to illustrate this point, here the Giants are attacking Okuayinou's side with this run. So first, Okuayinou is able to set the strong edge and doesn't get driven back at all, resetting the line of scrimmage, then is able to recognize where this back is going, sheds his tackles block, and because he's such a strong player, even though the tackle is still on him right here, he's able to make the tackle on this back with just one arm. Another aspect of Okuayinou's run defense that's really stood out this year is his development in his play recognition. He's quick to recognize what the offense is running, and then without any hesitation, he closes quickly. Here, for example, the Giants are running the quarterback draw with Dart, which has him faking the pass before taking off on this run, but because Okuayinou senses something is off, he's able to recognize this run play forming and quickly explodes through this open lane in San Francisco's defense and gets Dart down for no gain on this play. Another aspect of Okuayinou's run defense that really stands out in his film is the hustle he routinely shows off. You'll never see him giving up on the play. Here, for example, with the Giants running towards his direction, once again, he does an excellent job of getting the edge and then recognizing the back cut it in towards San Francisco's teeth of their defense. He works across his tackle's face with the rip move and then lunges towards his back, nearly gets him down right here with one arm, and then missing this opportunity, he doesn't just give up, but rather is working his way towards his back on the ground, grabs his feet right here, and brings him down for an 8-yard gain. I get it, he could have brought him down maybe a little bit sooner here, but this shows off fantastic hustle. Even with all these positives to Okuayinou's game though, he is an undrafted free agent, so he definitely has some areas of concern, with one of the most notable for San Francisco's defense moving forward just being his lack of experience. Sometimes I do think this will lead to him misrecognizing the play and leading the offense to get a major play on him. But that's just like any inexperienced player. On top of that, Okuayinou needs to do a better job of keeping offensive linemen outside of his chest. He's not the biggest defensive end, only coming in at 6 foot, so sometimes longer offensive linemen can get inside his chest and drive him outside the play. Finally, Samuel Okuayinou just needs to prove he can remain healthy for the remainder of San Francisco's season, as they desperately need him to. But overall, even with these concerns to Okuayinou's game, I think that he's going to be a pretty solid defensive end for San Francisco and ultimately help this defense remain competitive for the remainder of the year, and who knows, he may even help them throughout a playoff push. But ultimately, these are just my thoughts on San Francisco's breakout defensive end in Samuel Okuayinou, and I want to hear your thoughts on the 27-year-old down below. Do you think he'll have a solid year, or do you think he'll fizzle out with more opportunities? It would also mean a ton to me if you did enjoy this video, if you could go ahead and like and subscribe. It truly helps out the channel a ton, and as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.